work representing voters in Alabama challenging
So you didn't mean them as a person?
I made them in my role as an
Do
advocate.
you mean them as a person? I'm not asking you in your role as an advocate. Do you believe that if you're against white supremacy, you have to be against voter ID laws?
Senator, in my role as an advocate, I have...
Ma'am, I'm not asking you about this. It wasn't the case. I'm asking you what you believe. And I don't appreciate you dodging my question. Now, this is a serious position you've been nominated for. Do you believe that someone who is against white supremacy also has to be against voter ID laws?
Senator, no. The Supreme Court has held that photo ID...
What do you believe?
I believe that the Supreme Court has held...
What do you believe personally?
I believe that photo ID laws have been held to be constitutional.
Do you think voter ID laws are appropriate or inappropriate?
I believe those are questions that election officials...
Do you believe that voter ID laws are appropriate or inappropriate?
I believe that photo ID laws have been held to be constitutional. I believe there are cases in which they are...
What do you believe?
I believe there are cases in which they are appropriate.
What do you believe?
I also believe there are cases
in
which they can...
What do you believe?
Senator, let her answer, please.
I'm trying to. We both know what's going on, Mr. Chairman.
Let her complete the sentence.
Well, let me do my own questioning, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your help, Professor. Do you believe that voter ID's laws are appropriate or not?
I believe there are circumstances where photo ID laws can be constitutionally implemented. And I believe that the Supreme Court has also held that there are circumstances when they would not be constitutionally permitted.
Okay. All right. Ms. Chaudhry. Am I saying your name right?
It is Chaudhry.
Chaudhry. Thank you for correcting me.
Thank you.
In 2015, you were on a panel at Princeton University. You said that the killing of unarmed black men by police happens every day in America. Did you say that?
Senator, I don't recall the statement, but it is something I may have said in that context.
You think it happens every single day?
Senator, I believe in that statement, I was making a comment in my role as an advocate, and I was engaging in rhetorical advocacy, which
But do you believe that police officers kill unarmed black men every day in America?
Senator, I believe the killing of unarmed citizens by law enforcement is tragic, and I believe in that instance
I think it's tragic too, but do you believe, this is a really simple question, Counselor, do you believe that cops kill unarmed black men in America every single day? You said it at Princeton.
Senator, I said it in my role as an advocate.
Oh, okay. You didn't mean it.
Senator, I said it in my role as an advocate to make a rhetorical point.
So when you say something that's incorrect, it's okay to excuse it by saying, oh, I was being an advocate? What do you believe? Do you personally believe that cops kill unarmed black men every single day in America?
Senator, I believe law enforcement have an important and challenging job in this country.
That's not what you said, though, Counselor.
Senator, I say before you here today that I do believe law enforcement have a difficult and challenging job, and I also understand the difference
I just think that's an extraordinary statement to make with no data to back up. None whatsoever. There's no basis for you saying that. And you knew it then and you know it now. How can one possibly believe that you're going to be unbiased on the federal bench?
Senator, I believe my record shows that I have worked collaboratively with law enforcement in Boston, Chicago, Mississippi, and Milwaukee to solve complex problems to promote constitutional, effective, and safe policing.
Your record shows that you believe cops are guilty.
It started with a direct quote, words the nominee herself had written, comparing voter ID laws to white supremacy. But what followed was a textbook case of dodging, deflecting, and backpedaling. Kennedy asked, "Do you believe that if you're against white supremacy, you have to be against voter ID laws?" She refused again and again to give a straight answer. Kennedy wasn't having it. His calm but relentless questioning exposed the ideological bias behind her advocacy and drew a clear line between her public activism and the impartiality required of a federal judge. Next, Kennedy zeroed in on another explosive claim, that police kill unarmed black men every single day in America. A bold, emotionally charged statement utterly unsupported by data. Kennedy asked, "You said it, do you mean it?" Once again she hid behind the shield of rhetorical advocacy, but Kennedy wasn't letting her off the hook. He pressed her not just on the data but on the dangerous narrative being pushed into public discourse. Kennedy then confronted her with language from reports she helped write accusing white Southerners and Louisiana officials of racial hostility at the polls. When asked for specifics, she couldn't provide a single example. Kennedy, VO, "You said it, so which polling places?" Narrator, VO. This wasn't just about fact-checking, it was about revealing a pattern of broad-brushed accusations without evidence. If someone can't distinguish between advocacy and adjudication, they shouldn't be on the federal bench. Then came the moment that exposed the nominee's actual qualifications or lack of them. Senator Kennedy grilled her on basic constitutional doctrines like the adequate and independent state grounds, selective incorporation, and the limits of congressional power. Her responses? Vague, uncertain, and legally shallow. Kennedy, VO. "Do you know what it is?" Nominee, VO. "No, not familiar with it sitting here today." Narrator, VO. "This is someone nominated to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, one of the most influential in the country, and she couldn't articulate foundational legal principles." Finally, Kennedy circled back to the heart of the issue: voter ID, a concept supported by most Americans, across all demographics. Yet the nominee described it in a report as burdensome and illegitimate. Her refusal to admit any merit to ID requirements for voting showed just how deep this ideological divide runs. Narrator, VO. "Let's be real, photo ID is required to buy alcohol, fly, apply for a job, and open a bank account. But for voting, the most important act of citizenship, some argue it's racist? This isn't about access, it's about control." Senator Kennedy didn't just challenge this nominee, he exposed the deeper problem: a judiciary being packed with ideological actors who hide behind advocacy when caught and who can't defend their own records when questioned. This hearing was more than a spectacle. It was a warning. Our courts should be grounded in law, not activism, and if this is the standard for federal judges, then the American people deserve a much closer look at who's sitting on the bench. Narrator, VO. If you agree it's time for accountability in our courts, hit that like button, subscribe for more breakdowns, and leave a comment with your thoughts below. This is just the beginning.